Welcome back to episode 9 of AyyScare Plays Front Office Football 8, Season 2. And we are going to hop right on into things here. For those that skipped last episode, we didn't do well. We finished 6-10. We were in a situation where Bart Hines, who has been our starting quarterback, is not going to be receiving his franchise designation from us. So we could be in for a couple of rough seasons here, depending on how easily we're able to obtain a new starting caliber quarterback. Just as a quick note here, Bart Hines, throughout his time with us, he's been decent. I would say that he's a solid, top 15 quarterback. But simply put, he just year after year has not been able to get us as far as we would like. Don't get me wrong, he got us into playoffs and he won playoff games 4 seasons. But every single time it was just he's putting up basically as many interceptions as he has touchdowns. He has a really decent receiving core that he should be doing better with than he is. And if you remember, I think it was last episode, we were looking at his contract and he basically wants to be a top 5 paid quarterback, which he's not worth it, in my opinion. So we're going to be letting him walk. This could lead to a couple of rough seasons here, but last season we did draft this really nice running back who had a very respectable rookie season, and we will hope that he expands from here. So let's go ahead, get into it. All right. I think keeping the current coaching situation might actually be a decent bet, but let's see what our options are. Our head coach is still considered best. The one thing I will say is there is a quarterback option here. And he's smash mouth, which would put us into a more heavy running game situation. Let's see. 3 seasons ago, he was the coach for the championship team. That being said, they've plummeted since then. And overall, as a head coach, he really hasn't done well. Like I said, he did win a championship, but overall is not a pretty look. It is interesting. The other thing I don't like is that he has basically no player development, which, if we're getting a young quarterback, we might need. Now, there is a chance here that we're going to end up with a well-established quarterback. Let's see. Can I see this yet? This. Okay, yeah, so this is probably at least close to what we're going to see in free agency. Obviously, teams will be dropping before, so it's not full, but it doesn't look like there's the only quarterback on this top list is Bart Hines, who's the guy that we're dropping. So I'm probably going to have to go young quarterback, so I'm going to keep it with my current head coach. All right, now we could go something for new offensive coordinator. Our offense has struggled. Some of that's Bart Hines. So it's definitely a little bit up in the air for me here. How long has this person been our head coach? They've only been our head coach 1 season. They went 6-10. The only thing I do really like about this top guy is that one of our main players right now, in terms of moving forward, is Jalen here, who, although he's not that young anymore, he's already considered fully developed. So maybe I should take back that thought. Really good at, his primary focus is wide receivers, but his player development and young talent is nuts. I think we actually are going to switch over to this guy. We're going to keep our defensive coordinator. And assistant coach, we could switch to somebody like this. This might help out our young running back here. This guy has not been on good teams as a coach, that's for sure. Past 4 seasons they haven't won. Past 3 seasons they've gone 5-11. That's a little bit worrisome to me. So let's just keep this where it is. I like that we have somebody that focuses on linebacker in our coaching. So then I will go ahead and, I guess, quote unquote, upgrade my strength coordinator here. This guy's been our strength coordinator almost since we started. So sure, we'll try switching it up. Hopefully get a little bit less injuries, things like that. All right. Now, before we jump into things, we're losing Bart Hines. I'll be honest. Now, Bart Hines did not have a huge contract. If we look here, I think we can see his contracts in here. Yeah, he signed basically for like $20 million a year, which is next to nothing in this year of the game and stuff. So it doesn't fully surprise me that we didn't end up with more free agency money. We're going to need to pay Jalen and this inside linebacker. Okay, we should have enough money to handle the clear free agency situations that we're going to face. Okay. Only real question is there anybody here worth dropping? Let's take a quick look. This guy definitely had a down year last year, but I don't think he's worth dropping. So we're going to keep him around. He's getting a little bit older. How much does he still have on his contract? He only has 2 years left. And chances of us finding a better tackle are probably slim. So we're going to keep him guard. We're keeping this safety. I absolutely love him. So we're not going to touch him. This guy had an extremely down year. Did he get hurt? So wait, he did deal with a couple of injuries. It doesn't look like any of them were too crazy. Yeah, it was definitely a down year for him. Absolutely. And considering how much we're paying him, right tackle or right defensive end we have our front there is pretty good. The other defensive end we're technically losing, but I think we're going to be okay. I would rather be able to spend his money elsewhere. So we are going to go ahead and cut him. All right. Again, now the thing is that our linebackers situation is so stacked right now that it doesn't surprise me like neither of these guys had 100 tackles or something like that. Wow, he had a great season last year. All right. And this guy did decently. Okay, we'll keep them around. This has been our tight end since starting this series, and he's just so consistent. And he hasn't really ever dealt with any serious injuries, so I'm not going to touch him. He can, retire with us. He'll be a legend here in Denver. Another linebacker. How many linebackers do we actually have that are getting paid right now? That's not what I meant to click. I meant to click this one. Yeah, I mean, we technically can cut a linebacker, especially if we want to pull in one from like late free agency or something. So we're paying that guy $15 million. How much longer is his contract? It's only this year. Okay, we're just gonna keep him then. All right, let's roll with it. Let's see what pick we have. We're pick 9. Okay. All right, and looking at the top list here, we're definitely not getting the top quarterback, who is top by a long shot. Does not look like there's another worthwhile quarterback for a little while in the list. So that means we're probably not going to use 9th overall on a quarterback. So that brings up, did any team end up dropping a quarterback? Nope, Bart Hines is the only quarterback in free agency. All right, we are looking at a probably rough year then. All right. Let's go ahead and do our re-signings, and then we'll figure out where to go from there. All right, how much? This guy has not gone off. That's a big key here. He has not had a 1,000-yard season. He's not had more than 4 touchdown catches. He's only had 300-yard games. So this guy better not be asking for a lot. But we'll find out here shortly. Let's take a look at that. All right, let's see what he's asking for. Up to 43. Okay. Now, this is a little bit of a team deal. I mean, I do think that this is probably a little bit of an overpay on him. But if he gets with a decent quarterback, I think that he could easily be that guy. So we'll go ahead and give him the deal. All right, let's see. Wayne Lee, let's make sure that he sticks around. He's helping us out a little bit, so we'll go for that. This linebacker, perfect. Because we have so many of them, they tend to sign cheaply for us, so that's good. Let's see, this defensive end had a down year. Let's not worry about re-signing him right now. All right, we have a bunch of players on 2 years left, so let's go through and re-sign a couple of them. I just want to re-sign this corner. And also re-sign the snapper for us. All right. So, bunch of players here with 2 years. Let's see who we can lock in. This nose tackle has done very well for us. He's definitely asking for more. However, if he puts up a season like he did last season for, let's say, 2 or 3 more seasons, he could definitely be worth what he's asking for. So yeah, let's go ahead and sign him to that. Left tackle Riley Hines, again, although he might extend for cheaper. He is actually, and for a left tackle, that could actually work out for us. So we will sign him to that extended deal. And then see if our tight end will give us a deal. There we go. Perfect. Let's go. Do safety will probably retire after this year or next year. Kicker, we're good. This right tackle has not done all that well for us, but again, that is super cheap for a 53 tackle, so we'll take that. Okay. Real quick, where's the other wide receiver that's done really well for us? Here he is. Okay, he still has 3 years left. Okay. So after doing all that, the game doesn't even say we need a quarterback, which is weird. Who is technically our one signed quarterback at this point? this guy, who probably shouldn't be. Mike Knight did horribly for us when he started last year, so we're not going to re-sign him. Bart Hines again. At this point, I don't even think we could afford him, to be quite honest. But we'll look at what he's asking for anyway. All right. Bunch of defensive tackles. There is a guard and a tackle. Let's see what this guard goes for. And then, because we have an injury to our one guard. And then our other guard is only a 53. So the two guards here are actually a little bit enticing, especially since we have that really good young running back. Really good run blocking. Even better. Yeah, I'm very interested in this guy. All right, well, let's see how much this guy goes for to try to base what our offer is going to be. So he signed 1 year for $21 million. Okay, and he was an older guard. I didn't realize that. Okay. This guy's 28. Extremely good run blocker. Honestly, put up really good stats the past 2 seasons. Yeah, this guy is probably going to ask for highest paid guard in the league. Yeah, and he is by a long shot. Now, in my experience, normally if teams, or if a player is asking for this, and they're this good, a team's going to end up paying this or more. Which means we're going to have to put up big money for this guy. Let's go for it. Because especially if we end up having to go with like a super young quarterback, it would be good to have him behind as good of a front line as we can provide, plus our running game. I'll put this at 40 million, which this would shatter what the top guard is currently only making 28 million. That doesn't take into account bonus, so we're just looking at down here. So this would be shattering that. Looking at these bars and his stats, he's going to get a groundbreaking deal, but maybe this is a little bit too much. Let's do this. Let's drop this down to 23, and then we'll do a 3 million a year increase. So 26, 29, 32, and I'll make this one 35. I don't think he's going to go for this. Well, maybe what? It's a little bit more upfront. It's a little bit more guaranteed through the bonus. Let me think about this. What's enough? 36 million. All right, we'll throw him 36 as the bonus. All right. Let's see if we get him. I think that's going to be a huge signing for us. I don't want to put in an offer on anybody else right now until we know if we got this guy or not. I'm going to be honest, I don't think we're going to get him on this. 181, 5 years. Let's see what he goes for. No way, he did sign with us. Oh, I'm actually pumped about that. Okay. All right. And look at this. Bart Hines is signing a cheap deal elsewhere. I wonder if he would actually come back to us, but I don't want him back. I think there's a good chance that we can make playoffs with him. I don't think we're winning a bowl with him, though. That being said, looking at our other options right now, I don't think we're winning a bowl regardless, probably this season, next season. But let's see what we can make happen. We can probably sign one other big name free agent. We do need another defensive tackle. and our one safety is getting older. One other thing worth checking, even though Herb Carpenter is highly rated, his endurance is only potentially up to a 62, which means he'll be our like main back. Like he'll probably get like 70% of the touches, but that does mean that we need to have another running back in the mix to split carries with him. We do have this guy who hasn't done all that well, but he might be good enough to at least split backs. Split carries, I mean. That guy's done almost nothing the past 2 years. Wow. I mean, it's only on 27 attempts, but he averaged 7.2 last season. His bars are decent. He's not a receiving back at all. I need to remind myself, is Herb Carpenter a receiving back? He can be. Okay. So honestly, like, having this guy as like a second down back might actually not be bad. Like to split first and second down carries with. What's he asking for? Realistically, this is not much, but I would rather give him like a 2-year deal. So let's restructure this slightly. All right, we'll do it like that. Let's see if he goes for it. He did. Okay, cool. So now we have our running back situation probably in an okay state. We have our offensive line, I think in general is okay. Yeah, we need to fill in at least 1 or 2 backups, but we should be okay there. So quarterback, defensive tackle is really what we need to worry about right now. With the money situation, we probably need to head to the draft. So let's look at this real quick. Simply put, there is 0 chance that this quarterback drops to us, but let's just see where he would go. So like AUS, must be Austin. They have a good quarterback, but he is older. So I would say there actually is a chance that they would bite on the young quarterback. Green Bay and then Chicago. Green Bay just signed Bart Hines, so they probably won't. Chicago. Once again, good quarterback, but older. Minnesota. Okay, so I think that there is a realistic chance that quarterback could fall to pick 4, but he's definitely going to be gone by Minnesota if he even falls that far. So, let's just look at this guy for a second. I mean, those bars are nuts. His development's a 17, which means he could probably start if needed this season. I don't know if it matters in this, but I don't think I've ever heard of this college. That is different than Texas A&M, right? Or is that like or that's Florida. I have no idea if college actually matters in this game. Texas A&M is different. Okay, cool. Yeah, I just had to double check because I've never actually heard of this college before. Okay. Top tackle will be gone. We really don't need a linebacker right now. There's a slight chance that like this defensive end or defensive he's really a defensive front because it looks like he's defensive end and then he also could fit into defensive tackle. He's at least worth an interview. It's considered overrated. Okay. So we wouldn't go him. second tackle could fall to us. I know we have Hines at tackle, but who else do we have? Defensive. Denver. There we are. We have another decent tackle. He's not the best in the world, but he's good enough. That being said, Riley Hines is getting up there in age, so pulling in a backup would not be a horrible idea, to be honest. We could probably nab top corner. What's our secondary situation looking like? That's right. We have a bunch of guys that are all sitting around 50. So it would probably end up being an upgrade, but I don't know if that's really what we need. All right, let's interview this tackle. That is beautiful bars. His endurance sucks, but I think that's something that our coaching staff can work on. Let's go ahead and interview the top corner. It's considered overrated. But his bars still look pretty darn good. But I'd rather not go an overrated player with the 9th overall pick. We could pull in like a top defensive end. So this guy actually is a defensive end and fits our defensive scheme. Considered overrated as well, so probably not. Let's see. Don't want to scroll down too much because then I feel like we are getting into the realm of not being worth a first round pick like this. There are a number of wide receivers. We have 2 very decent ones. And we still have that tight end. We have a good receiving running back. Everett Rides down here has actually done very well for us. He was undrafted 2 seasons ago, went for almost 1,200 yards. I mean, I think this guy as a wide receiver to Jalen is a good situation. If one of them gets injured, though, it's not like we really have a great backup. So maybe it is worth interviewing the 2 top wide receivers. This guy's bars are nuts. The only thing worth noting here is that he has this character red flag, which means that he's more likely to get suspended. I think that means he's also more likely to cause locker room problems. But if we're getting a guy with bars like this, I might be okay with it. Let's look at that. Would kind of be like bringing like Antonio Brown or something like that. At least from the stories we read about. Not great at big play receiving, not great at courage, but his other bars are pretty nutty. So we'll mark him too. All right, I feel like we do need to mark one other worthwhile 9th pick. We don't need a guard right now. We could go top safety on the board. This guy could then fill in for other safety here who is coming to the end of his career. That actually could be a good pick because I don't think we have another. Yeah, we don't have another safety because right now it's Wayne Lee and Adrian Jordan. So this actually could be a very interesting pick, Sebastian Slaughter. They're very underrated. Okay, I think that we now have enough players that we can go for at pick 9. So now let's look at down the draft. So down the draft, we need to find some kind of sleeper quarterback. Let's see how this goes. So those bars are pretty terrifying. I will say though, that guy, he's actually not as good as the guy above him though. So now I was gonna say he gets really good scrambling, and he has a really good 40 time, really good agility. But the other bars are just so bad. I don't see myself being able to go that. My understanding on this, and I could be wrong, is that strength matters quite a bit to quarterbacks. So, like, this guy, even though he's third on the board, his strength number terrifies me. And his bars are, again, not something that I'm too excited by. Let's see what else we got here. Nope. Nope. That's actually somewhat interesting. This is at least a little bit intriguing. So here we would be looking at like a medium to deep passing quarterback. It looks like he'll have decent accuracy, good timing, not so great at these three. High scrambler, which if we're sending in wide receivers down the field, could open up some good scrambling opportunities. He's 33% developed, which means he could probably step in and start this season. It would be a rough season, but let's interview him. Very overrated. Okay, not going in. No. Not great anywhere, but at least this guy's like middle of the road down the line. Sure, let's interview him. Very overrated. All right, not going him either. That is an interesting set of bars. Super young. He's only 21, which at least in this game is very young. I don't know if anybody was looking at that when I was clicking through the other ones, but most of these guys are like more like 23, 24 in this game. This guy was 22, but there's the guy's 24, 23. How old's the top guy? 23. Yeah, so I mean, this guy, the other thing is he has a really high strength rating. He's only 5% developed though, so he's probably going to be next to useless this season. I don't know. I'm going to mark him. He could be a late rounder. He's not worth going like round 2 or something like that, but maybe if he falls to like round 4, he could be interesting. And that's kind of where we're at this point with this draft. I mean, this guy actually is semi-interesting to me. He has that decent accuracy, really good timing. These bars are all very decent. Let's interview him. Hard to read. He does offer some scrambling, and he was actually considered a... Where'd that go? Wait, does the QB style change after you interview them? I could have sworn that his style said scrambling. Maybe I'm wrong there, though. Man, this is a rough quarterback class outside of that top guy. Really rough quarterback class. All right. So with that in mind, let's look at a late defensive tackle. Maybe there's one that like didn't do the draft or something. We could look at somebody like, or the combine. I mean, that's a very interesting option. Let's look at him. Okay, that is a worthwhile option. He could definitely be like around 2. Normally, I'd expect probably at the top like 4 to 5 defensive tackles to go in the first round. So That is a very interesting option. All right, let's see how this goes. So we'll see who remains in first round. Hopefully that defensive tackle second round. All right, let's do it on fast for a second here since we have a top 10 pick. Austin will probably go. Ooh, I was not expecting that. I'm not going to lie. All right, they're getting a tackle for Hines. Chicago goes running back. Minnesota, I was expecting to go quarterback. They go defensive end since quarterback was taken. Tennessee takes the questionable wide receiver. Top corner off the board. Running back. And this is the final pick before us. Albuquerque goes defensive tackle. Okay. So that leaves us with. We would obviously have more options, but we have 3 here marked. Oh man, these linebackers look beautiful too, but really don't need a linebacker. Don't fall for it. I don't need a linebacker. Don't need a linebacker. I really don't need a linebacker. I need to focus on other things. Okay. The tackle is definitely interesting to me because Riley Hines is getting older, and our other 2 tackles down here, this guy should be an upgrade to them. I think that's going to be the easiest way to word it. This wide receiver, his bars are a little bit scary to me. I mean, he seems like super boom and then super bust, which is definitely a little bit concerning to me. I also didn't even notice this. His strength rating is a 6. That's also terrifying to me. So maybe we shouldn't go him. I think that this safety probably makes the most sense. Again, Adrian Jordan will probably be a really good player to help get this guy in. This guy's probably retiring this or next year anyway. We know from, if you watched the first 20 episodes of season 1, we know that safeties were something that we were struggling really hard to get. So I think that this pick makes sense. Not only that, I really like his name, Sebastian Slaughter. I think that is a great name to have on our team. This tackle is so enticing, though. Okay, we're going to safety. All right. Let's see if the defensive tackle ends up falling to us. When did that tackle end up going? Just out of curiosity. Wow, that tackle made it far down. He went pick 18. All right. So maybe other teams did not see what I saw in him. It's interesting. All right. Did that defensive tackle fall? He did. I will say that based on this, I think there's a serious chance that he would last until next round 2. Do we go with the top guy that we didn't even look at and then hope that he falls as well? I think that could actually be a decent option for us. Although we did just sign our main nose tackle to a 5-year deal, so maybe going 2 highly rated tackles doesn't make sense. Those 2 should still be there. Okay, at this point, I'm thinking that we just go top remaining on the board since we really didn't get a chance to interview many other players. Right now, a center is top remaining here. Let's say he theoretically could be an upgrade to this guy. This guy also has an extreme conflict. That is not something I exactly looked at. So if this guy has an extreme conflict, maybe actually bringing in a new center would be better anyway. This guy looks really promising. So let's take him. All right, now did that defensive tackle last? Actually, both of them did. That's interesting. All right, I feel like now I'm gonna just reach and get this guy because I do really like this guy's bars, and I think as a second nose tackle for our team, he's very interesting. He doesn't have great endurance, but he's not going to be our starter anyway. So I think this pick makes sense. And there's a lot of defensive front up here. He might last until next round. I actually think he will. Take this tackle. Very interesting. Very high bars. Let's take him. We were talking about taking that tackle earlier, so this is a good alternative. Now we'll take this guy. Then we'll take a look at those QBs. They're both still sitting there, so we can probably go them later. Was this the second quarterback on the board? I think it was. Is there any way for me to easily check that? Yeah, the quarterbacks of this class were not that great. I'm just trying to eyeball this because I mean at this point, second best quarterback of the entire year has fallen to round 5, I think. So I mean at this point, I just say we just freaking take a stab at the dark one, and honestly, yeah, I don't see another quarterback that went. I think that this is such a bad quarterback class. Yeah. Oh no, there was this guy, Cody, but I think Cody was rated below this guy. No, I don't remember now. His bars are so ugly at the top, but the other bars do honestly look interesting. I will say, for a team that is probably going to struggle this year, having a high scrambling quarterback might be worthwhile. Let's give him a shot. And then I do want to grab Nicholas here, assuming that he fell, and he did. All right. And then, final pick here. Do we have anything that we need to fill? Realistically, tight end or wide receiver, but we're probably not going to get one worth a crap at this point in the draft. So, there's a very decent receiving back. He doesn't have blitz pickup though. Normally my receiving backs, I like having blitz pickup bars. Let's look at this grade. How's our kicker situation? I know our punter's been decent. How's this kicker been doing recently? Pretty decent. Okay, we'll keep him around. I think that he still has a couple of years left. I think that, if I remember correctly, I think that I signed him to a long deal. Yeah. Okay. All right. Do we just go ahead and pick up another linebacker at this point? This guy actually has a really high dash rating, which is a little bit enticing for a defensive end, but I don't know why. Some of these kicker bars are nuts, but normally the kicker bars end up tanking after you actually get them. I might look at getting one of those in free agency, but I'm not going to use a pick on one. Here's some tight ends. Really high strength. Blocking bars are not great. Not great, not great. A little bit interested in running back, but I don't think worth it. Corner. That's a more interesting tight end. Brady Morris, not a great running blocking, but he has really high blocking strength. So maybe he could, work on that a little bit. We'll try him. I didn't see anybody else that I was too excited about, so. All right. Let's see how those rookies are looking first. Okay, center is towards the top. Defensive tackle is towards the top. Safety is towards the top. And then that other tackle I got is down here, but that's perfect for a backup. So, okay, that obviously numbers will change, but those that actually looks like a really good draft to me. Neither quarterback is looking to be worth a crap. So, let's look at something real quick. That center is currently a 24, but I think I want him to start right away. I don't want a extreme conflict going into the draft or going into the season. The center has been pretty darn good for us. Let's see if we can actually trade him. Jesse Devine. See if any team will take him for something. He's getting paid a decent amount. Okay, nobody wants him. He's getting cut then. Lease player. And then we have one potential conflict with this guy, with Charlie Delmonico. Actually, it's only a potential conflict. I think we'll be okay there. Playing time, all the guys that are mad are off the team. Okay. All right, I think that we're going to be okay there. All right. So, now the question becomes, this is actually the kicker that I said it. I think I said it when I was looking at him, that I might look at him post-draft. Let's go ahead and see if we can sign him, because he looks ridiculous. So let's give it a shot. All right. Defensive end that looks enticing. We actually have a little bit of money to play with in the late free agency here. I think the past couple of seasons we haven't had much, so hopefully this will help us out a bit. Another great linebacker that we can bring in. Says well if he gains starting experience. Okay, probably not getting starting experience, so never mind. What is it that we specifically need? We still need at least one wide receiver and probably two other defensive fronts. Okay. We know that we need one, so let's see if he'll sign with us. Older nose tackle here. Oh, actually, this guy was on our team. I didn't recognize the name. He was unhappy though, so let's not get him back. This guy's basically done nothing. He would be our third string anyway, and he would sign for super cheap. We'll bump up the bonus slightly just to make sure we, or hopefully, get him. All right, let's see. Our other two main wide receivers are kind of middle-aged at this point, so I'm fine with going a rookie or an older option. Let's look at that. Someone like this could be enticing. All right. Yep. I don't know if he's going to get starting experience, but he should at least get some experience as like a wide receiver 3. And then if there's an injury, he would probably be our 3rd. All right. Now the big question: is there any quarterback worth a crap? Short answer is no, but Mike Knight was the backup we had who did horribly last season. Looks like realistically, this guy's probably the best bet in terms of what is available. Basically has no starting time. 2 seasons ago, he was pick 4 off the entire board. So, did he just not fit in with the other team that he was on? That actually could be a very interesting pickup here. Let's give him a shot. Let's see. All right, wait a second. So who's Quinn? That is, I know, I don't know how you say this name, but K Bite or whatever. He is our tight end that has been really good. Quinn, I do not recognize. Who is that? He's one of our tackles. I think that we just have to go for it. All right. All right, he signed with us. And it's a short deal. He should probably stick around. We got that rookie kicker, so we'll see if that guy pans out at all. It'll be interesting to see going into the actual season who ends up being our starting quarterback, because I don't think really anybody that we had. I think that late free agency pickup honestly is most intriguing. Let's see here. Did we fill in our full team? We did. We don't have anybody outside of that, which typically you like having, more than the minimum number. But with money situation, I want to leave a little bit of cap space in case we need to do anything. All right. We're probably going to have a 3-way battle here for starting quarterback. As of right now, Lorenzo Lang is looking to be our starter. Right now, it's like they shift. Yeah, look, they used all the money in order to fill in some other slots. So let's see if Lorenzo Lang ends up staying our starting quarterback or not. If he's putting up the points that I'm seeing right there, in a preseason game, someone put up 51 points. So it looks like he is looking to be our starter. Oh, this guy got hurt. All right, Lorenzo Lang, you are up. He actually has a strong conflict. Great. So the guy that warned us about a potential conflict is a conflict. Okay. Oh, geez, that's not good. Let's roll with it for now. So we're up against Kansas City. All right, we took a L there, but let's just take a quick look at something. meant to go. So here, team summary. All right, first game here. Hey, Lang went for 211 yards, 2 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. That seems okay to me. Carpenter almost averaged 5 yards a carry. Okay. All right. I mean, obviously you can't base everything off of one game, and we lost this one game, but overall, I think that actually looks promising. So let's go through week 4 and see what happens here. All right, we lost 34-6. That's not promising. We won 17-14. And we'll go through one more game to get 4 games under our belt. Okay. So we're sitting at 1-3. Let's take a look at the team summary again. All right, so Lang has not been doing too well. I would say he's in line with what we were getting with Hines, though. We have a full-on split-back carry situation. Carpenter is definitely better than Basil, I guess how you would say that. For receiving game, Rides and Jalen are splitting, which is great. Where's our main tight end, though? Did he get injured or something? It's weird that we don't see him on the list. Oh, wow. He plummeted this year in rating. Maybe our new offensive coordinator doesn't like him. Well, that stinks because we just signed him to a pretty big deal. We'll see. That might be a little bit of a fluky situation. I'm not entirely sure. You can see here, though, our offense is definitely one of the worst in the league. All right. We're also not putting up too many sacks. We're not getting too many hurries. So let's continue it out here. Another L. Ended up beating Baltimore, who was 6-0. This is the week before we can do a trade. So let's take a quick look. We do have a number of injuries towards the top of our team here, which is worth noting. Okay. And let's look at team summary, see if things are shaping up any better or worse now. Ooh, look, another player stepped in. I don't remember the names off the top of my head. Is Keith one of the rookies we got? He is. Is this the guy with the really high... I don't remember. Is this the guy with the really high strength rating, or is that the other guy? 12-17. No, so this is the guy with the really high strength rating. Okay. It's interesting, though. I wonder if we give this another week or 2 to play out and Lang is still looking as bad as he's playing, we'll probably cut him, especially since he has a conflict and Hector Keith here doesn't. We'll give him 2 more weeks to see if he can prove himself, and then we're going to make a move. All right, we took the L. We took the L again. Okay. So at this point, I'm assuming that at this point, I think it is fair to say we can go ahead and cut Lang. He's not panning out for us. So let's go ahead and get rid of the conflict. It didn't work out for us. Fair enough. His bars and his high pedigree of draft capital was worth the risk, but didn't work out. So we lost there, but did my coach keep Keith starting? No, it looks like we brought in Bush. So let's say our team went out and drafted another player. This guy, once again, was a high draft capital pick that didn't work out elsewhere. So we'll see. He had one good game so far, and he stepped in mid-season. So we know we're not making playoffs. So at this point, I'm just gonna click through here. Won the past 2 games. Let's see who's been starting for us. You'll see this Bush player is staying in for us, and he's actually doing semi-decently. Interesting. Carpenter and Basil up here are splitting those carries decently. Once again, Rides and Jalen are both doing very well. They could actually... No, they're probably not going to. I was going to say they could both finish 1,000-yard seasons, but we're only 3 games left, so probably not. Okay. Once again, our defense is doing stellarly in terms of their ratings, but right, and final game here. All right, we finished 4-12, which I said at the beginning of the season, I was like, especially if we don't get a worthwhile quarterback in free agency or the draft, that we're probably going to be in for a couple of rough seasons. So this is about in line with what I was expecting, to be honest. All right, we'll go ahead and play out the weeks here. Championship matchup is Atlanta versus Jacksonville. Atlanta takes the W 23-22. All right. Big question. Anybody on our team finish with a worthwhile rating to end up on our board? I'm not going to lie. Bush came in and absolutely killed it. I mean, those numbers for a player that stepped in mid-season, and I don't know how much that really plays in this game, like having to learn the system, blah blah blah. But very, very good looking numbers. I'll leave it at that. So Jalen almost finished. He actually must have gone off those last couple of weeks. Looking at that, hold up here. Yeah, with that new quarterback, look at this. He went, I don't remember when he stepped in. It was probably somewhere about right here, give or take. 109, 77, 93, 85, 117, 106. Those are good numbers. So looks like he's finally starting to step up there. Lee, once again, top defender on our team. We didn't have anybody with crazy sack numbers, nobody with crazy tackles, no crazy interceptions. All right, looking at this, I don't think anybody on this board made Pro Bowl. I think Jalen has a chance of making it, and there's always a chance for an offensive lineman, which we don't really see stats for in here. So let's go take a quick look. Oh, our punter once again. Our punter has received this a number of times now, so really good punter. Well done. And that's it. Okay. All right. Let's real quick look, because I didn't see in the other view. Did Slaughter end up playing? He did. Doesn't look like he played all that much, but he got 46 tackles, an interception, very respectable pass defendant rate. So decent for the bars. I'm not super pumped considering he was a 9th overall pick, but these bars can always change slightly. So he might still end up being a overall very good pick for us. Let's say we also suffered from a number of injuries. Our offensive line, again, looks a little bit decimated. Yep, we lost the left guard that we were paying crazy money to. And then let's say our rookie center just ended up not starting a couple of weeks, but he ended up starting most of the games for us. So, all right. So going into next season, we already know we're going to need a quarterback. That is once again our main concern. I will say though, Jimmy Bush here is interesting. If he's willing to sign a 2-3 year deal with us, I might give him a shot because as we've talked about with the other quarterbacks, normally there seems to be a trend between the touchdown to interception ratio, and so far this guy's is really good. The little bit of starting that he's done, he's got really good ratings on, so he might be worth a shot to keep around. But at 4-12, are we gonna have first overall pick? That's a big question here. We have a shot at it. Well, I don't think we'll know until next season, and without me doing a bunch of comparing of schedules. But 1, 2, 3, 4. Only 4 teams finished 4-12 or worse, which means we should have a top 4 pick. So we'll see how that works out next season. Thanks for joining me, and I'll see you guys in the next episode. Till then, AyyScare out.